Level 4, Lesson 1, The Power of Energy Consciousness. This meta-manifestation field is called Dimensionality because it reminds us that we live in a universe that is even bigger than our universe. This concept of dimensionality reminds us to expand our energy beyond our bodies. Oftentimes, we get stuck in our own problems or reactions and forget to expand our feelings and consciousness outward. Dimensionality places us within an unlimited power vortex. There is a reason why infinity has a symbol and is not represented as a number. Well, for one, it can't be represented as a number by virtue of the fact that it's infinity. It also can't because, mathematically speaking, infinity isn't a number, it's a concept. When we stop and think about just how large the universe is, it's humbling. As far as scale is concerned, just stop and think that if you were relaxing in a field in the countryside, you couldn't even count the blades of grass or leaves on the trees, let alone all the sand on even a tiny beach. It's that infinite. And that is infinitesimal compared to what's in our solar system alone, let alone our galaxy or the entire universe. But wait, there's more. Beyond our infinitely large universe lie infinitely more universes, each one connected by our thoughts, feelings, and imagination. Let's tap into the power of dimensionality. We've covered a lot so far in this course, not just material, but also techniques you can use to practice and become a master manifester. We have a lot more to cover, and this lesson will level you up in a way that will connect the mind, body, and language and integrate them in an interdimensional way, which will allow them to work all together as a single combined energetic flow. Like an aqueduct sluice concentrating many sources of water into one powerful channel, these techniques will synthesize and magnify your manifestation potential. Imagine a storm drain or a ditch which is dry at the moment. Now, picture in your imagination a small, tiny rock sitting in that storm drain. Now, imagine a great flood. Imagine an onslaught of water heading right down towards you. Make it enormous. Make it gigantic. You can imagine some sort of biblical flood or something you've seen in a movie and make it big. Now, ask yourself, does that tiny little rock stand a chance against this huge onslaught of water? How quickly will that rock get swept away from this gigantic mass of water and potential energy? It's like it didn't even exist or matter in the first place. It will get displaced, overpowered, and cast out, just like everything you may perceive as standing in your own way when it comes to your manifestations. This is the level of the scale. The power in the dimensionality of the imagination, when combined with the equally powerful emotions, is as unstoppable as the deluge of water in comparison to life's tiny rocks. And that's what we will be learning in this lesson. Have you heard the ancient Indian parable about the elephant? Well, the parable goes that there were a few people who were blindfolded and then asked to describe what was in front of them. The first person reached out and said, "A big tree trunk." The second person reached out and said, "A large feathery brush." And the third said, "A very large rough surface of stone." Each of these people described the same animal, an elephant, but from 3 different vantage points. One was touching the trunk, the other the tail, and the last one the belly, yet all were describing an elephant. So it is if we focus on manifesting our dreams in terms of only our minds, or only our bodies, or only the language we speak. In isolation, each of these metafields carry their own power for sure. However, we limit ourselves to the collective power of actually seeing the big picture, and the universe speaks in big pictures. When you imagine something, you capture an interdimensional energy in a single act. It's like being able to purposefully catch lightning in a bottle every time. These Meta-5 manifestation techniques are like when scientists like Michael Faraday discovered the electromagnetic field in the early 1800s. Actually, his story is super fascinating on its own, but that would be a digression. They wondered why every time there was a magnet around, there was also an electric charge associated with it. And vice versa, when you generated an electric current, it also generated a magnetic attraction. If you study the wave patterns of electromagnetism, mathematically they exist at right angles to one another as wavelengths on an XYZ axis. It's super fascinating stuff. It kind of models our Meta-5 manifestation. That aside, the point is you can't have one without the other. And so it is with all 5 of our manifesting fields. Where one exists, they all exist. So why not learn to harness all 5? One of the cool bits about the discovery of the electromagnetic field by Michael Faraday is that he was not a mathematician, believe it or not. He had no advanced command of maths and didn't even write his papers with advanced equations because he just wasn't capable and he didn't need to pretend to be. And I, for one, take inspiration from him. Faraday was, in fact, the consummate scientist because he imagined, hypothesized, and then observed and tested his theories. And that is exactly what manifestation is for you. Imagine, observe, see it in reality, and then repeat. Please revisit the Meta-5 Manifestation Definitions page to review our working definitions for this course and take solace, comfort, and inspiration that you don't have to be an actual mathematician to understand and appreciate the science behind manifestation, even though you are a natural manifester. What the scientific laws of the universe say is, in short form, energy in, energy out. That is to say, what energy we give as input to our imaginations is what will be produced as output into our reality. The act of manifestation cannot be reversed or stopped. It is the same law that keeps the planetary bodies in motion and life evolving. The only thing you have control over in the manifestation process is you, your choice. It is your energy and your imagination, because that is what will be duplicated or reproduced into your reality. You purposefully choose your reality. It should be plainly obvious by that statement that you control your destiny. So, make it the one you want. Don't fuss or get down over past mistakes. Just forge ahead, and once you see good results, celebrate them and keep building. I've given you over 30 techniques so far in this course to get you into the energy you need, and I'm not even close to being done yet. I would suggest latching on to the techniques that support you the most and the ones with which you see the best results, and keep repeating them daily. Incorporate them into your routine and make them a habit. And this is exactly how I've seen my best results. I want you to be consciously aware of your energy. Now, there are 2 periods to differentiate when it comes to energy awareness. Your beta gamma, which are your awake states, and your alpha theta, or your sleep states. As we've covered alpha theta states in our last lesson, we've covered it in level 3 lesson 1, we will cover the beta gamma states in this lesson. Speaking of energy states, you should always be clear that one of the biggest pitfalls when it comes to manifestation is confusing wanting and having. Here's the secret. When you are actively imagining your desired outcome, you must be in the state of having it in a playful state, matching the emotions with the imaginal act. For example, you're not going to feel sad and depressed imagining yourself in your new house or with your new relationship. Shift your emotional energy first. And I can't emphasize this enough or underscore this enough. Shift your emotional energy first and then enter into the imaginal meditation. Get warmed up before you exercise. Heat up the stove before you cook, whatever analogy you want to use. Warm up your car before you drive, on and on and on. Shift your emotional energy first, and then enter into the imaginal meditation. Don't use the meditation technique to shift your emotional energy. That's the cart before the horse. You can simply do things like breathing exercises to get you into the energy state that you desire, or, as I often do, take a cold shower, or go walking, or jump around, or use the posturing exercises I showed you in Level 2, Lesson 1. I also like to use the power of mentorship to get my emotional energy shifted, which I capture in the form of motivational videos from my mentors whom I follow and have learned from. And this always gets my juices flowing. And yes, cold showers do wonders to release dopamine and spark your nervous system, and I'm a huge proponent of them. If you have a sexual fantasy, you will feel in the mood. Likewise, feel the appropriate emotions suited to your desired outcome and engage your being and embody that person. Sexual energy, by the way, should not be taboo. It is a very powerful, primal, creative force that Napoleon Hill talks about and describes as sexual transmutation in his landmark book, Think and Grow Rich. Sexual energy taps into our paleocortex. It is primal and powerful. Wanting, on the other hand, is also a state, a suffocating emotional state. And if you are in a state of wanting, that is exactly what you will manifest, more wanting. If the emotional energy you are attracting or attaching to your imagination is one of wanting, then that is what gets inputted into the power function and therefore is what gets duplicated as output. Does that make sense? So replace wanting with having. A more practical way of thinking about this is to revisit the law of energy in, energy out, and simply swap terms. We'll make it very easy, very practical for you. Energy in, energy out. And you see that there are bracketed terms energy, underlined terms energy. In this, both sides of this equation, energy in, energy out. And what you're going to do is simply swap out the underlined bracketed bits with things that you want, and then it's going to build out your manifestation technique and change it from wanting to having. So energy in, energy out, where by definition your energy is your state as it relates to your imagination. So just replace your goal or the thing you want to manifest in place of the word energy and see that as a placeholder for your dreams, such that energy in, energy out becomes, for example, if you use this paradigm here, swapping out energy for money or a house or love or dream job, you can use this as a template to sort of speak to yourself. And energy in, energy out becomes money in, money out. Your money, energy, and emotion comes in, and money will be the output to the equation. New house in, new house out. Love of my life in, love of my life manifested out. Dream job in, dream job out. $10,000 a week in, $10,000 will manifest out. Happiness and joy in, happiness and joy out. Having it, imagine having it, traveling the world, having it, traveling the world, and you will be traveling the world, and so on. The language that the universe speaks is energy. For you, just remember to keep it simple, and remember that the language that the universe speaks is emotions. Let's kick this up a notch and try the list above again, but I want you to include emotions this time. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to add adjectives in front of our nouns, right? The first list consisted of nouns, things. But now, since this energy is transmuted by emotions, you're going to add emotions into this by adding another component to this paradigm, to this phrase, to this list. So instead of just money, house, love of my life, dream job, we're going to sort of add an emotional component by adding a nice, beautiful, luscious, sparking adjective in front of the noun. So instead of just money in and money out, you're going to get freedom money. How does that feel when you say, instead of just money, right? It might carry some banal emotion or maybe no emotion or negative emotions, but now you're going to add something positive in there to weight it toward the positive side. Freedom money. Now think about freedom money. And as you say freedom money, posture and imagine yourself having it, in possession of it. It's done. It is done. I have it. Freedom money. Wow, can you feel the change in your body? Can you feel the relaxation? Can you feel yourself open up? I hope you can. So freedom money in, freedom money in, freedom money. And this is what we've manifested out, freedom money. Cozy new house. Instead of a new house, which is good in and of itself, but a cozy new house. And you, of course, add in whatever adjective or descriptor that you like, right? The thing when it comes to manifesting and affirmations, and when it comes to designing your affirmations, is really to go with what your own nervous system produces as far as your subconscious. So cozy new house, to me, that's everything. That's amazing. I couldn't imagine anything nicer. But maybe for you, cozy doesn't impart the meaning you want. Maybe there's some other adjective like new, or a countryside new house, or a ranch house, or maybe not even a house. Maybe it's something else, like a different style. So you have to sort of generate your own, what makes you feel good. And it's usually your first impression. Your nervous system will accept what it produces. I produce cozy, your nervous system might not accept that. And it's kind of like receiving a transplant energy-wise. You might not accept it. So really, really dive deep down and feel what you feel, and let your own nervous system and subconscious produce those words and terms for you, and they will supercharge themselves because there's no resistance to what was produced by your own nervous system. So love of my life, which is nice, blissful love of my life, right? You could say passionate, you could say energetic, you could say adventurous, or whatever you want to say. For me, I produced blissful love of my life, and blissful love of your life will come out. Dream job. What about your dream job? Make it something. How would you describe your dream job? Proud of it. For me, I'm proud of my dream job, right? I'm proud of my dream job. I love it. And this is what will manifest as far as your actions and your world and the people around you that will be magnetized to you inexorably. $10,000 a week. If you think about that, maybe that's a lot of money to you. It might sort of weight you down. So use your nervous system, ask your subconscious when you feel it or when you think about that, ecstatic. You feel ecstatic, right? Who wouldn't want to feel ecstatic thinking about $10,000 a week coming in as maybe from your new dream job, right? Happiness and joy in, happiness and joy out, right? Traveling the world. What about traveling the world? Curiously. For me, curiosity, traveling the world, seeing new things, experiencing new things, right? You could get into meditating and traveling the world and might think, it's going to be a slog, or it's going to be this. No, you got to frame it in an emotionally sparking and enthralling and captivating state that just makes you want to dream on, right? For me, curiously traveling the world just sends that signal to myself to just keep going. So again, I want you to practice this and use this, right? Focus on what's on the first side of the equation, because that's you. What happens in the second side of the equation, the outside, is actually what's going to happen to you or for you as a result of your manifestation. So focus on the first part and just say that. Think about it, feel it, and that's what's going to happen. Now, what I want you to do is try and create your own list of 5 things. Create your own list of 5 things and 5 emotions that you can visualize for yourself. Have it right now when you think about those things. Have it right now. Be in possession of that right now. And I would suggest doing this with your big goals. But also try it for fun with something small if you would like a coffee or a gift or something small you'd want to manifest. Here's a success tip for those with money blocks or for those who are trying to manifest more financial abundance. Thank your bills and expenses. Yes, you heard me right. Thank them and even bless them when it comes time to pay them. This is the ultimate form of having. You must say to yourself before paying or spending that I have all of this money that I'm about to spend. Take a moment and feel the energy that gives you emotionally. Get excited to spend it and feel joy in the moment that you spend it and more will come rolling in. Think of where that money flows in our economy. Feel grateful that you are a benefactor to the grocery clerk who checked you out, or you are providing a job to the person who is inputting your credit card statement, or to the gas station attendant who works for minimum wage. Feel that energy flow. Feel that you are in command of it. And that is the ultimate form of having, because you are in command. I went from being scared of opening my online banking portal to actually loving it. I have reframed money as a puppy, or a sunny day, or a grandchild, or playing guitar, something that the thought of brings me utter and absolute joy. When I look at my bank statements, I talk to it like my puppy. Oh, you're so cute. You're growing so fast. I just love you. I want to infuse joy into it, and it keeps growing. No word of a lie, just today, I did that with my account, and although I have plenty of money in there, I found that I actually had an extra $3,000 in there. Well, I'm putting money aside for a vacation and buying a second home, but even when I found that extra money that I hadn't anticipated, it was amazing for me. Try it for yourself. It may take some time, depending on how deep your money blocks go, but do it. I took inspiration from this technique from Rhonda Byrne herself, the creator of The Secret. When she was in over $1 million of debt, every time she saw a bill come in the mail, she visualized that bill as a check written out to her. Sounds counterintuitive, right? However, as she claims, before long she had her secret book deal and became a best-selling author and millionaire. So why not give it a try? As we move into the exercises section, remember to combine emotions and imagination. Since these techniques involve the higher brainwave states beta and gamma, you should feel high-level emotions like love, excitement, anticipation, joy, enthrallment, etc. Manifestation recreates. So in order to recreate what you are visualizing, you must recreate, as in the pronunciation of the word recreation. You get it? You must recreate to recreate. Recreation is having fun. It's playing. Our creative manifestation abilities are hardwired into our biology from childhood. Remember back to when you were a kid and you were playing with your friends. You could imagine all sorts of scenarios. Maybe you played soldier, or you played house, or created adversaries or friends, whatever you did. To you, back then, these roles and these objects that you played with and implemented, and the scenarios that you created, all those things that you pretended, they were as real as anything else around you. And they still are in your memories, which is why our cognitive capability to imagine is so powerful. So channel that excitement, channel that state when doing these techniques. You can label it pretending, or play pretending, or fantasizing, or simply imagining. I want you to sort of capture that into its own sort of semantic domain. So if the word imagining troubles you or has some sort of negative bias for you, then reframe it, recast it as pretending or playing or adventuring, whatever you want to do to kind of loosen up the energy state as you look at it. Okay, so brainwave states revisited. Now, last time we were looking at alpha and theta states, which are the relaxed or sleepy states, and stage 1 and stage 2 light sleep. This time, we're focusing on our awake states, our gamma and beta states. Okay, again, gamma is our concentrating or exerting focus brain power like learning state. And beta Well, encompasses most activities while awake.